Hello ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great and wonderful day. We're going to be talking about reparations here. And some of you may find this abhorrent or stupid, but I'm going to let you know. I am not a man, I am not a black man, because of that is all for reparations. Because being near mostly white people, and probably some people have seen me in the comments to where I have at least 4 best friends, potentially 5 best friends that I would give my life for. They are white. And I cannot sit there idly by thinking that my white friends are forced to pay for something that they did not do and they do not endorse. And it sickens me that a lot of the times here that we have to go by and say, hey, we black people, we need reparations. And then they don't actually outline or say exactly what the reparations are or even understand on how much it costs them. So, without further ado, here's the actual video here, the clip of them talking about reparations, and we're going to go over it together here. Take a look.
Shelby County Commission meeting.
Don't dare say I'm un-American because I support this. Don't dare do that.
Ended in Shelby County, joining a growing number of locations looking into studying reparations.
The item passes.
A subcommittee of 13 people nominated by county commissioners will work to find actionable items in 5 categories: increasing access to affordable housing and home ownership, affordable health care, systemic disenfranchisement in the criminal justice system, career opportunities, and financial literacy and generational wealth.
We're trying to say it's clear something needs to happen different in Shelby County.
A majority of commissioners say reparations are needed to address crime and our culture.
My people are dying on the daily. That's why I support this.
So, I'm going to be perfectly honest here, and people are going to realize it. And now, this is not just with the black community either. This is with all communities, Latino, white, etc. But the black community is the ones that are heavily affected by all of this. Because when you have black single mothers, and then you have and then you see the statistical data, which I'll show you right here, is showing that single mothers have this horrible statistic where the people are way more likely to commit crime with the boys, and then the girls are way more to be sexually active. Plain and simple. So, if we're gonna go and talk about this, it is the single mothers that are causing the actual crime in the black community. Because for whatever reason, they want to go and bang every guy in existence, get pregnant, and then have a child, and then not stay with the man they had the child with, and then the child has other problems, and then he goes commit these crimes. Now, I'm not saying this is just black women doing this. It's honestly every single mother that's doing this, and that's a problem. And I'm not saying all single mothers are bad. However, the statistical data you see here is showing otherwise. And that is leading to the other crime problems. It's not police officers going and arresting just black people. That's not what's happening here. It's just so many black people are committing so many more crimes. It's the issue. So that's where we're going here. And I'll end this here, and I'm going to talk more about this situation and stuff in the later half of this video.
Say the money should be spent elsewhere.
This resolution is un-American in a lot of ways, and I think the money would be much better spent with workforce initiatives and finding ways to elevate.
The commission is not the first group of leaders to tackle reparations. The first, Evanston, Illinois in 2021, a suburb outside of Chicago, gave $25,000 in housing grants for black residents impacted by housing policies between 1919 and 1969. Asheville, North Carolina, St. Paul, Minnesota, and other cities are also exploring reparations.
For me, the thing that makes this impossible for me to support, for sure, is that we don't have $5 million.
I respect their opinion, but this could be done.
Up to $5 million is needed, and it will come from the commission's budget. Commissioner Mikkel Lowry told me it wouldn't be the first time the commission moved forward on an item without the cash in hand.
We've done other things on the fly, not knowing where the money's going to come from. We figure it out.
Now, I am going to show you guys the other video that I have lined up, which I'll be talking a lot more extensively on because it will have targets and bullet points that I actually go over and about the whole reparation BS and how honestly, I think black people are using this to either grift or get money that they don't rightfully deserve for because they just want that free money and instead of actually having to work for it. Especially for the mere fact that we have the reality to where white people of today have no ability or have not the ability, but has not actually done any of the crimes. Even if you go back to even the 1950s, if we're going to go specifically with slavery, they have nothing to do with that. The only possible way you could deal with this with a segregation, which by the way, black people are trying to bring back for some god apparent reason, and then with the actual racism and stuff like that that's happened to black people. That's the only thing they can actually claim. But a lot of the black people, especially the far leftists, are trying to claim that they want reparations for slavery. You have to go back over a bloody century, if not more, to even go claim for slavery, and which, by the way, my friends especially have completely denounced slavery, denounced any sort of racism, and they don't even endorse it. So why would you force a group of white people that don't even like the stuff that happened back in those days? Why would you force them to give you money? That makes no bloody sense. And by the way, before people start talking about like, oh well, it's not the white people giving it, it's the government. Idiot! Where do you think the money comes from? Because it's not going to be the black people putting money into the government system or what have you. It's going to be the white people doing it with their taxes. So you're asking white people to give money to the government with their taxes and having just the white people give money to the blacks. Now, I'm sorry, but last time I checked, that's a form of racism. So, because you're forcing one group of people to give money to another group of people For what? For reparations for something that they didn't even get? It's so infuriating to me that the people are doing this reparation BS because I honestly think they want to be lazy and they just want free money. Here's the bloody video.
Republican state lawmakers in Tennessee want to ensure any idea of reparations for slavery are stopped in their tracks.
The legislature banned even the exploration of reparations in vote today. ABC 24's Jay Shakur is here with what happened today and how we got to this point.
Richard Pepper, when that idea was floated last year, a committee under the Shelby County Commission was established to study what could realistically be done. In Nashville, the House was set to vote on the controversial bill today, the anniversary of Dr. King's assassination in Memphis, but it's been delayed. A delay advocates say that it's a momentary victory for them. A stalled vote on a controversial bill banning all counties in Tennessee from using funds to study or disperse reparations.
It is a holistic approach to be able to start a conversation about what does, retribution to our local black community look like.
Brittany Thornton, a Shelby County commissioner, supported the proposal last year. She says it's important to find actionable items addressing 5 key areas: increased access to affordable housing and home ownership, health care, criminal justice reform, enhanced career opportunities, and financial literacy.
I'm going to put up a board here so you guys can see it. So you're going to see me ranting and raving and swinging my arms like a wild banshee with all this stuff. But let's address some of these things here. First off, how are you guys going to pay for all of this? Because again, as I stated, it's all down to how do white people and how much money and taxes are they going to have to pay for this? So depending on how many, because I remember doing this before, right? When there was black people asking for reparations back in, I think it was probably Minnesota, but I could be wrong there. But they were asking for reparations, and they wanted only religious white people to pay for those reparations. And what they were asking for was like around something $1 billion to $15 billion, or give or take. You do realize that it's inconceivable for somebody to pay for that, right? The actual amount of income that place got did not even come close to meeting that with black and white people. Well, actually, all all the people that are living there barely even met that standard. So you want $5 million or something for whatever this is from white people, which, for what purpose? To line your pockets? So let's go to increase access to affordable housing. Okay, label what you do not have to let us know what you mean by affordable housing. Because you have to prove on how there is not affordable housing for black people. There's not affordable housing for a lot of people, actually, especially under the Joe Biden regime, which everything is way too expensive for them. Let's go with healthcare. Okay, I remember doing a report on black people, specifically one with Advil, that they wanted to have more healthcare because they were discriminated against because of all this other stuff. Well, by all means, you can find many white people having the same issues. And by the way, healthcare affects everyone. It's not just black people. Let's make this perfectly bloody clear. It's not just black people. And by the way, majority of the black people vote Democrat, which also means that the Democrats are not going after the pharmaceutical companies, which, by the way, Donald Trump, in his next term, if he was still president, was going after the pharmaceutical companies so everybody, even blacks by the way, could have more affordable health care. So I don't know where you mean by health care. And then again, you have to prove that there is a reason that blacks are not getting the right health care. Criminal justice reform. Let's talk about criminal justice reform, because again, we need to address on what we're talking about criminal justice here. Are we talking about, oh, well, if they do a crime, they can't do a stop? They can't stop people? Are you talking about stop on crime, which has led to horrible things happening? Like, we need to understand on criminal justice reform. Now, again, I'm a man of understanding, and I know that criminal justice, our justice system, is complete hogwash. It's garbage. It's crap. It does need reform. Don't get me wrong. I think from the government all the way to the cops, they all need reform. Because some of the things I've actually heard with the cops, they don't know the actual the Constitution, and they only know the fourth one because so the way the police department can't be held liable or get in trouble for it. That's a problem. So I agree that needs to happen. But the reality of it is that we need to we need to discern what criminal justice reform is. And most of the time that criminal justice reform is actually mostly negative for the most part. Because normally when they talk about criminal justice reform, it's self-on crime policies. And that's career opportunities. What does that mean? Because under DEI, a lot of black people are actually chosen over white people today. So I don't know what they mean by enhanced career opportunities. Most companies are going to hire a black person because of the DEI crap than white people. So again, what are you talking about here? And financial literacy. Again, there's a whole bunch of black people, there's a lot of rich black people, there's a lot of middle class black people. And I want to understand what financial literacy means by them as well, because these things are not defined. They don't define this. And we need these all defined. And financial literacy, I'm not too familiar in, so that's the reason why I'm not going too high in depth on this. But are we talking about here you being paid less than white people? Because again, if you're talking about that, thanks to the Civil Rights Act of 1964, that is now a thing that you cannot do. You cannot just not hire people due to race and whatever. You can't pay them lower than somebody else. That is illegal. So that's already something. So if they're talking about that, that's a problem. That's not really happening. So again, that's the case here. We're going to continue with this video. With this clip here.
This bill, currently making its way through the legislature, could seriously imperil those efforts. The bill's House sponsor, Republican Representative John Reagan of Anderson County, who we called and emailed, and the sponsor of the Tennessee Senate's version of the bill, Republican Brent Taylor. did not respond to our request for an interview. This latest move by the Republican supermajority in Nashville, pushing Pastor Earl Fisher to circulate a petition to rally voices against the measure.
Trying to figure out if indeed racial and economic disparities continue to this day and why, and what would be a good faith measure of repairing those inequities. I mean, that's basic.
Tone deaf and targeted, Fisher says, as Memphians in the state's largest county remember the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And so in the spirit of Dr. King, it is not only hypocritical, but it is disrespectful.
Now, if the bill becomes law, though it applies to all counties, opponents say it will disproportionately target Shelby County, with 2020 census data showing black people make up 51% or a majority of this county. Both the Tennessee House and Senate versions of this bill are held until next Wednesday. We'll be watching this bill as it makes its way through the legislature and keep you updated. Back to you.
So yes, for the reparations things, I think this bill should pass. I think all bills, I think this should be a federal thing, because I don't think we should be focusing on reparations. I think we should be trying to find if there is actual cause for this to bring this concern, because that's what it needs to do. But a lot of these people, black people, are just honest. They don't listen, they don't care, and they just want the actual money, which has been shown multiple times from these people. I want fairness. I want equality. And there is no equality on this because only one side is being punished for something that they didn't do. There was already a group of parents that were arrested for something that their kid did, which is not even right. Why would somebody be in trouble for something that their kid did? That's insanity to me. So, again, we're going to go over that. I'll probably go over that. I would like to talk to Nick Rocada about it, but I doubt he'll respond. But this is something that I want to do because that's insanity. But again, this is insane. I hate reparations. I hate the reparations argument, and I'll always be here standing against it because I know my friends do not deserve to have to pay for this crap, especially since, you know, they're already in tough problems as it is to begin with. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.